lady in waiting. I have never seen one candidate under fire like Donald Trump. How'd that work out?
Well, it worked pretty good.
And just spread the word the best I can. Hello all. Welcome to Coffee Shop. My name is Mike Daly, and like most of you, I'm fed up with this political crap. And that's exactly what it is. I started volunteering for candidates in 1984. At that time, I chose to work for a conservative candidate running for the federal Conservative Party. And it was an exciting time in politics. Thousands of people showed up to town halls and conventions. Their voices were being heard. They were working towards what they felt would be a better life. Every time that people make decisions based on news clips and media, they are making that decision ill-informed. It's not a sport team. It affects every Canadian's lives. Look at the basics. How is the government managing your financing? How are they managing your education, your health care? If the answer is not good, then we got to vote them out. In your financial side, are they giving money to other countries or friends, or stealing the money? These are questions that you got to ask. And if the answer is yes, you've got to vote them out. If your answer is, oh well, everybody's doing it, then you've got to vote them out. And keep voting them out till they get the message. Because if they are not held accountable for what they do, why change? If you hire them, you must hold them accountable. And that includes voting them out if they're not doing the right job. Having said that, with an election in full swing, we must absolutely take a little more time and consider your options. Now I'm going to give you an assessment of what I saw in the debate the other night on television. I'm going to start off with the Liberal Party and and Justin Trudeau. Trudeau does not have the knowledge or the wisdom or expertise to be our Prime Minister. He is a silver spoon elitist who has no idea what it's like to struggle to pay bills. He created nothing. His father and grandfather were wealthy people. Justin has breezed through life on his good looks and his charm, but that has worn very thin with Canadians. He is backed by the special interests, the media, lawyers, and unions. They serve themselves. For example, why are we in an election 18 months into it? $38 million he's going to spend because he's ahead in the polls and he feels that he can consolidate more power. Now I'm going to give you an example. Justin Trudeau is a puppet of the old bureaucrats. And political dinosaurs that pull the strings. He did look shaken. It's obvious to him that a good haircut won't work this time. Unfortunately, many Liberal MPs, good Liberal MPs, are going to pay the price. Which is why focusing on the party leaders is so unfortunate. For local politicians who toe the party lines, it will be the end. They should be representing their constituents. Now let's move on to our young man, Aaron O'Toole, for the PC party. Aaron O'Toole is a different person due to his background. He's ex-military, a working man who entered politics and immediately starred in a key position for the Harper government. His service has been honorable, with few accomplishments though. He is, however, a safe steward to take us through the next 4 years. He is conservative fiscally and socially centered. He came across as a statesman and kept his cool. Now Yasmit Singh for the NDP party is a good, heartful young leader. He's eager, and it's nice to see men like this in politics. It keeps it somewhat honest and integral. He is ready to spend money, spend, which is why his plans are not costed in his platform. His party has no chance of forming a government, but he will continue to be a voice in the government. Again, left-wing party who believes the government should run our lives. Anna May Paul is a very radical person. Even her party was going to get rid of her. Her focus on issues that are relevant to minorities and green issues could bankrupt our country. She still has to be elected. She is a private citizen and holds no seat in the parliament. Now, Blanchette for the Bloc Party. At no point should a party based strictly in Quebec be sitting in the Canadian Parliament being paid by tax dollars whose main focus is separation from Canada. Quebec was a provincial party in Quebec that represent Quebec. They push separation. They should insist, if you are a federal party, that you must run candidates in all provinces to participate in our elections. He was arrogant to the point of talking down to everybody. The debate was once again set up to promote divisive issues focusing on many controversial things, such as climate change, Aboriginal rights. Folks, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that it all must be inclusive. But this infrastructure and health care and roads are meant to help every Canadian, including minorities. All religions and all cultures should be included. The same issues of all impoverished Canadians are faced by Aboriginals, special interest, and minorities. It has no color boundary. We are all in the same boat trying to get through, and we cannot take 30 to 40% of our tax dollars to pass over to 10 to 15% of the minority population, leaving many of us out in the cold. It's just not fair. Perhaps less handouts will lift people up by the bootstraps, and tax dollars can be used to pay down debt, build schools, roads, fix health care. Those issues alone spend up all our budget. The rest of it we borrow to give to different countries and special minorities. This is the problem. I want to hear politicians say, we're going to balance the budgets. We're going to maintain the important things to all Canadians. Folks, a lot of times people look at conservatives as if we are bigoted or as if we are anti-gay, anti-abortion. That is not true. Most of us, and I include all Canadians, are understanding. We believe in issues that affect all Canadians. We believe in the rights of every human to love who they want, to practice their own religions. We believe in this. So to paint off a conservative, which is what I consider myself, as a bigot is just not fair. It's what the left uses to promote an agenda that is divisive so they can continue to run the government. You see, the way it's set up, a large portion of them, we're going to say 30% and 30% are liberal and 30% are conservative. Then the rest of the parties break up the rest of the population, grabbing 20% here, 10% there, 5% there, but it's all part of the voting package. We cannot get a consensus in this country because we have so many parties. We have a prime minister who only got 3 out of every 10 votes, and he's telling the other 7 out of every 10 votes that we're wrong. That's not the way politics works. We have made a mistake in this country, and we have allowed anybody who wants to start a party that is disgruntled with their old parties to step up. What do we have now, 6 or 7 parties? Well, let me just draw an ugly scenario. If this vote starts to continue to divide up evenly, you could have a Quebec party running our country and working solely on the interest of Quebecers. You could have a Western party doing the same thing. Folks, we have got to work on this as a country. We've got to come together as a country, and we've got to realize this issue isn't about our government because they're all full of crap. They are all full of crap. What we have got to do as a country is stop fighting each other, stop fighting your neighbors. They are the very people that are playing on your sports teams, are working with you in your community to make things better. They're the very same people that you wave to every morning while you're getting your coffee, that you have conversations with down on the street. How many of these politicians are walking and having coffee with you? How many of these politicians are doing any more than trying to grab your vote by spending tax dollars, by lying openly to you? This is not right, and we've got to stop fighting amongst ourselves. Love thy neighbor is one of the greatest terms ever coined, because it's your neighbor that builds your communities. It's your neighbor that makes your community. Having said that, folks, I would just like to say, remember, love your neighbor. And next time you're walking down the street and you say hi to your neighbor, remember, he is the person that is standing beside you to build your community. Until next time, this is Mike Daly from Coffee Shop, and I will talk to you again. Thank you very much.